Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
Wow, perps. Kid Copious, back in the bunker. Purple State Party. You know what we're about here, man. Come on. America, the center, common sense. Things that purposely discharge. Let's go, Brandon. Yeah, gotta have all of our catchphrases, you know? Not that they're mine, but whatever. So, tonight's episode is affectionately called The Brandon That Stole Christmas. And while I might be talking about the head Brandon, I'm referring to all the Brandons out there whose stupid politics and stupid ways of doing things have led us to the point we're at right now. Can't be much fun for a lot of people out there right now. That's an understatement. And turns out this week was kind of a week of revelations, really. I heard some things that really, just kind of blew me away. I was kind of like, whoa. Like, I never really thought about that, or I didn't know that, or who would have figured that, or whatever. But I guess the first one we'll kick off here is, apparently, according to the IRS, who would know, the Trump Republican tax cuts helped middle-class America. And all I've heard for years now from my brother, the raving lunatic liberal that he is that Trump only gave tax breaks to the rich. Seems like maybe they knew what they were doing. But what really upsets the left is the fact that it helped the middle class. Because the truth of the matter is that the left doesn't want a middle class. You can tax the rich, you can control the poor, but what do you do about the middle class? That's a much harder, pill to swallow. How do you control the middle class? You can't bribe them with government handouts because they're earning enough to support themselves wholly and thrive and survive and all that. And when you tax them, they vote your ass out of office. So how do you control them? You don't, and that's what they don't like about it. And this isn't my opinion. This isn't somebody's opinion. This is what the IRS said. This is the money that they took in, the money they had to give back. They can add and subtract all that stuff and tell you who benefited. Our governor decided he'd take some time off. He locks us in a state of emergency and then he takes off. This is the kind of stuff that we can't. We have to stop this. We cannot have our government acting like they're kings and queens and princes and princesses. They can't. It's so infuriating because he does so little for us, and then he gets to live that type of lifestyle. And you can say, "Oh, you're being a hater, kid." No, okay, I'm not. It's just bad when you lock us down and you try to make us live in fear, which you've successfully pulled off in many areas nowadays. But then you just go off and do whatever you want, and you don't wear a mask because masks are phony. Masks are just a symbol of our oppression. They're a symbol of our obedience. It's no different than a dog collar. Jen Psaki, yeah, I don't like her, but she's cute. But, she was asked about rapid response COVID tests at the airport because, right now they give out free ones at the airport and you get like 48 hours, and then they tell you, hey, maybe you should quarantine. They're really good. It's like closing the gate after the cows have wandered out. But she was asked about the expensive Insta tests and, snarky. Should we send one to every American? I mean, you're selling us this, story that we're supposed to be deathly afraid of COVID, and that the world should shut down because of COVID, and civil liberty should be taken away because of COVID, and you're going to require people to show ID and medical papers before you enter buildings. You have no problem with that. But then when you're asked about something that would at least help, You're snarky because you don't really care. You know this thing's a sham. No, I'm not saying that COVID doesn't exist, that people aren't dying from it, but there's nothing we can do. I mean, we've already had a year to prove this, okay? We have done everything for 1 year, masks, vaccines, social distancing, places shut down, people out of work, all of it. We've done all that, and it didn't slow it down. It just kept mutating and kept mutating. So we got to go full, like I always say, the guys at D-Day, man, you just run at the machine guns, and if they hit you, they hit you. And that's the truth of the matter. But the government wants control, and that's what this is all about. And when they're asked, hey, how can we help people get these rapid response tests? What, we should send them to every American? That is their let them eat cake. Jussie Smollett was found guilty of lying about a hate crime. I could talk about that all night, and I'm just going to sum it up by saying that, the more you cry wolf, the more people think you're crying wolf. And really, he should be shit-hammered for this. Instead, he's probably going to get probation and do some stupid community service, and then they'll put him back on TV, and they'll make books about him and stories about him and treat him like a hero. Because, hell, if George Floyd's a hero, then Jussie Smollett, come on. So a bum set fire to the Christmas tree at Fox News. Colbert tweets out, flaming Christmas tree just got its own show on Fox News. And Gutfeld replies, and it's already beating you in the ratings. I hope that's true, to be honest with you, because these comedians who get up there and just push an agenda, but have to remain PC, I don't know. It's just ugly. It's just obviously towing the party line, and that's just gross to see. That feels like a totalitarian communist country. So kids are struggling with their mental health issues, related strongly with the COVID. I mean, the numbers are astronomical. 30%, 25%, these increases in hospitalizations and attempted suicides and things like that. And we knew going into this, at least I did, there was nothing we could do. I knew the masks and all of this stuff, man, wasn't going to work. I thought the vaccine was going to work. I did. I thought it was going to be more preventative and more of a shield than sort of like having a med pack in you that's going to help heal you once you're injured. I thought it would stop you from getting injured. I probably could have phrased that a lot better, right? Yeah. Let me know in the comments, please. Somebody say something. Most aren't vaccinating against COVID. Most aren't vaccinating against unemployment, public opinion, and loss of travel. So what's more dangerous, the virus or the government? Then I'm one of those. I saw the writing on the wall. I knew the mandates were coming. I had concert tickets. And, I wanted to see 21 Pilots. So this is your new daily reminder that we could have had this phenomenal lady in her Army uniform, Army Reserve officer, skateboarding, workout fanatic, middle of the road person. We could have had her. Yeah, TULSI. Could have had her. But the young people's revolution chose the oldest person in the room. Could have had this kick-ass chick. Maybe we would have had some stability. Maybe we would have found that unity. Because we could rally around an active member of the Army. But no, it's just great-grandpa in there. And great-grandpa, breaking all the rules. He commented about Rittenhouse, called him a murderer, came out and supported Smollett without ever getting any evidence, without fact-checking, without looking into it, without withholding comment. No, just sticks his foot right in there and tries to pick up all the woke points. And is anybody, are people calling him out on it? No. The people who reach the most people are silent. Whatever. CNN's on in every fucking airport. But do they bring this kind of stuff up? No. But when Trump did it, you brought it up. I mean, come on. I mean, I'm purple. I'm in the middle. So I want fair treatment on both sides. Speaking of fair treatment, we have this little story here. This female swimmer beat records by 38 seconds. And why? Because no matter how much we want to will it into existence, still a man. At the end of the day, no matter all the acceptance of it, all the acceptance of these new ways of thinking, it doesn't change facts. It just doesn't. And how does this help? How does this help? People were silent when she finished the race and cheered when the second place person, her teammate, came in 38 seconds later. Women's sport is not a retirement plan for failed male athletes. The swimmer who is at the heart of this controversy here was a male swimmer in 2019. Okay, you want to transition? Great. I have no problem with that. I support that. I'm all for people being comfortable in their own skin. Caitlyn Jenner, fine, great, whatever. I don't care. I don't care. I'm going to judge you on what you do. And what she did is just wrong. It's just wrong. It's taking a spot from a woman, and it is not fair. It's just not fair. It's not fair competition. It's not something that should be cheered. The acceptance portion of it should be cheered. That's great. Nobody's stopping her from swimming. But competitively, it's not fair. And we're starting to see more and more of this emerge. And again, 2019 was a male, which meant high testosterone levels, developing those muscles. Right? And a few years later, meets the requirement and, now swims against women. It doesn't make any sense. There's no common sense in this at all. Whatever. Another little thing, another little insistence that they've had was the use of the term Latinx. And this really goes to show you how much the left just thinks, hey, we know better. We can tell people what they want to be called. And 98% of Hispanics don't like the term and don't use the term. So, is this just the day one of the normalization of this word that was created probably by white people? In the name of what? Equality? Because they don't like gendered language. So these people who you're going to vote for again, I'm speaking to Hispanics, you're going to vote these Democrats, and yet they think so low of you that they have no problem changing your language and telling you that you should like it. They just don't want to be called it. And yet, it'll continue and continue and continue. Because that's what they do. They chip away. They chip away at our identity. Because again, they need us divided. They need us rich or poor. They don't need us in the middle. They don't need us in the middle. It's hard to control the middle. The middle just looks at things and says, no, that doesn't make any sense. I don't operate on emotions. I don't operate on rhetoric. I don't operate on pipe dreams. I operate on what makes sense. And if Latinx was what they called themselves in the Hispanic community, then I'd say, okay, I guess we're calling them Latinx, but it's not. And the numbers back it up. 2%. So knock it off. Minnesota, lots of places nowadays are just getting smashed and grabbed. The bar is being set so low that criminals are just going over it now. And what do they want to do? What do they want to do? AOC says she doesn't believe that that's actually happening. There's fucking video. I mean, the gall of these people, when it's on video and it's right there and it's pretty clear that these people are not shoppers. I mean, shoppers don't break out windows and run off with mannequins. Okay? It's not the way shopping works. You know? The Chicago Democrat blames the rise of crime on retailers. They can't do anything. It's not worth trying to stop. Back in the day, I used to work loss prevention for a record store. So, yeah, hey, that dates me, I know. But I was undercover, and I stopped a lot of shoplifters. I even participated in big busts that involved the FBI. But we used to take people down. That's what we did. We would stop them from stealing. Can you imagine that? I would just watch people load shit up, and I'd wait till they hit the door, and I would just grab their backpack or whatever they had and just drag them to the ground. Yeah, we don't do that anymore. And even if we catch them, the police aren't going to do anything anymore. It's just a ticket and you're released. You know? It's worth it. You know, it's the cost of doing business. And in California, the cost of doing business is incredibly expensive unless you're a criminal. You know? Very good at creating a black market here. So, this one kind of kicks into another thing that I heard. I was listening to the Armstrong and Getty show, and they were talking to somebody who wrote a book, Meth and Fentanyl in America, something like that. And they were talking about cocaine dealers. You know, and I was one of those people. I would use coke every now and then. I'm a monster, dude. I'm a monster on the straw. Okay? Even my liberal-ass brother will admit I'm a monster on the straw. Okay? He'll give me credit where credit's due. But it was every so often. Every blue moon. You know? We'd have like a big get-together with a bunch of friends, you know, over the holidays or something. Yeah, we'd do something. But that's not good enough for a drug dealer. Once in a blue moon, that's not a good customer base. So they are now sprinkling cocaine with fentanyl to turn you into an everyday user of coke. My days doing coke long over. I'm not going down a fentanyl route. I'm not. I know myself. But that's what part of a strong border is. You could tell me that wanting a strong border is racist. I don't believe you. So you could say it all day long, but I'm not going to believe you. You know, it's about protecting. You know, protecting our citizens. The people who the government, the people elected a government to protect us from things coming across the border. Of course, now with stuff like fentanyl and the new meth, you know, really easy to smuggle. They'll get it in, but we're just making it easy. And now they're smuggling in the manpower, and that's the big issue. People who don't have scruples, who aren't above killing 13-year-olds over drug debts. So, this gets us into the creme de la creme. The creme de la creme. Look at that, man. Hillary. She cried while reading her would-be 2016 victory speech. Aww. Boy, could you imagine? I mean, even people out there who hate Trump, they got to think, like, we might have dodged a bullet on that one. New York is going to allow 800,000 non-citizens, illegal immigrants, to vote in New York because, hey, why not? Like AOC says down there at the bottom there, U.S. relies on illegal aliens to survive. I don't think that's true at all. If we never had another illegal alien enter the country, it wouldn't change anything. And you know what the big problem with it is? Is when they commit crimes, especially things like rapes and murders, they weren't even supposed to be here. That's the part that hurts. That's the part that hurts, is that person who took that life wasn't even supposed to be here. I'm just saying. And it's not racist to say that. Okay? They're illegal aliens. I don't really care what country they came from. If they're here illegal, they're here illegal. That's just it. I mean, The study finds massive spike in people getting shot by Alec Baldwin under Biden. That's the kind of shit that's just funny to me, man. You know, it's just such a tragic event what happened. That poor cinematographer, you know, and her family. But then, you know, I think one of the reasons why I feel like it's fair game is because he's a smug asshole about it. And he was a smug asshole before it. Bob Dole switches to the Democrat Party. I actually told that to my mom tonight and she laughed. Oh, man. You know, because he's dead. You know, I can't ever say that I was like a huge fan of his. So, I mean, it doesn't, you know. I was a little more upset about the passing of Mike Nesmith from the Monkees. Hey, hey, we're the Monkees. People say we're monkeying around. Smollett, the true attacker, was inside me all along. Again, he's not going to get, an appropriate punishment for this, you know. And the thing that sucks is knowing that if this was reversed, you would have people rioting if he didn't get a prison sentence. But whatever. I mean, I guess nowadays we've just decided that certain people are just going to get a pass. If you are a Brandon, you get a pass. Hundreds of looters destroying stores. One unvaxxed person trying to shop for groceries. That is like California right there. I mean, that really is. That is California in a nutshell. That is one meme. Describe California without telling me you're describing California. The ones that had Jim, look at this, Jim back climbing. He's just going to get his top spot back one of these days. The ones asking to be left alone aren't the extremists. The ones demanding we comply or lose all of our rights are the extremists. And that's one of the things that we're losing touch of because the media, the ones that most people read, you know, your LA Times, your local news, your CNN that's on everywhere, you know, they're the extremists. You know, Antifa is not an anti-fascist group. They are a fascist group. They use fascist tactics and they seek control because they know who they're working for. We know this. Come on. We know what side they're on, you know. That's just a picture I saw today. Ronald Reagan, you know, his name's back there. There it is. Everything's backwards on here. Yep. Oh, look at, I can't even. There we go. Look at that. I did it. The kid pulled it off. Oh man. Yeah. You know, he was a cool dude. He was president when I was younger. I wasn't always on board with him, but looking back, learning about what was really going on, and we used to make fun of him for his whole like Star Wars missile project, but in the end he bankrupted the Soviet Union, and then we were like, oh, that's what he was doing, you know. But anyhow, you know, and he was a Democrat who famously said, I didn't leave the Democratic Party, they left me. So, you know, I'm in that same political boat. You know, because of Bill Clinton, I left the Democratic Party. You know, I went to the middle, man. I did. I couldn't go all the way over to the other side because I'm not, you know, I don't fit in either place nowadays. You know, that's why I'm here. I'm here in the bunker, man, repping Purple State Party. Just one man trying to do his civic duty, I guess. I don't know, duty. I'm trying desperately. Oh, you know what it was? Was on Dan Bongino's show, he was talking about the Roe versus Wade decision and how above the whole issue of abortion, which would just, by the way, quick, if Roe versus Wade goes away, Roe versus Wade goes away, the power reverts to the states. And that's what the left doesn't like. See, the left is starting to see a pattern here. You have crazy high taxes and liberal values on police forces and crime rampant and people shitting in the streets, people move other places. But if all the rules were exactly the same for every state, then you wouldn't leave. You would stay in California and pay your taxes. Everybody would move to California. They'd all move to California and Florida. But they won't because of certain laws here and there that they don't like. So that's what it's about. That's their big concern. They love federal control over everything. You know? I don't know how governors would feel about that, but to me, governors would be waste of time. They would be completely subservient. So there'd be no checks and balances. Eventually, things like we have right now where the Democrats control the House and the Senate and the presidency, and they're trying to pass wackadoodle bills. They want to spend billions of dollars on dreams, you know? On things that might happen. Maybes and hopefuls. God, I hope we go to electric vehicles are just never going to work. You're never going to figure out how to charge all these vehicles and produce the electricity you needed. It's not going to come from solar and wind. That's not going to happen. You're not going to build nuclear reactors. So, you know, why don't we work on solving the water problem in California? Figure that one out? I don't know. Maybe we can find some underground wells somewhere. I don't know what we're going to do. Start desalinating? You know? There you go. Maybe some desalination plants. But that involves massive amounts of electricity to do. Anyhow, so, you know, here's where we got it from. The Brandy New Stole Christmas. And that's what it's like. You know, that's what it feels like right now. And because honestly, under Trump, I spent 4 years not really worrying about anything. Okay, I didn't worry about China. I didn't worry about Russia. Okay, prices on things were good. The economy was good. You know, everybody was more or less mentally healthy. But it just started eroding because first they concocted a Russian collusion story, which made people really hate Trump. Then the media, of course, you know, they climbed on board. And even after the collusion story was found to be false, they just continued to hammer away at him. And meanwhile, he only benefited us. If you look at the middle class, he benefited us. He made us feel good about America again. He made us feel hopeful for the future and okay with the present. But that's all gone now. That is all gone. There we go. Uncle Sam. Right now, I'd settle for $1.79 gas and some mean tweets. And that's why, yeah, there you go. Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Best Christmas movie ever. And Die Hard is not a Christmas movie. Okay? Christmas needs to be the theme. That's just my opinion. But that was my favorite one for the week right there. I mean, Brandon. Lord Brandon. And Fauci, Lord Farquaad. We got a lot of lords up in there, man. A lot of kings and queens and viceroys and all that shit. Turning into fucking England. But not England today. England of, like, yore. One of the great mistakes is to judge policies and programs by their intentions rather than their results. I want you to think about that. If you're, you know, if you typically vote Democrat, I want you to think about that. Think about how many of these things. Prop 47, we kind of decriminalized some crimes. Look what it's got us. And that's what's happening. From the female swimmer who's breaking all the records. Jussie Smollett. You know? Look at it. You go in with good intentions, assuming the best of people, and look what you get. People pooping on the sidewalks. Copious out.